Today we're going to look at what cards are in my wallet for this month. Also how we ended up using points, miles, and credit card benefits for recent trips to Cabo and Bora Bora. Big favor before we dive in is to give this a thumbs up to help with the algorithm. If you know someone that might benefit, then share this with them. The first card is the American Express Hilton Aspire. This is one of my favorite cards and one that Manny and I end up stacking. There is a $550 annual fee, but you do get a bunch of credits, including up to $400 for Hilton Resorts, $200 semi-annually, and up to $200 for flights, and it's $50 quarterly. For us at least, we're pretty much breaking even with the credits. On top of this, you also get a free night every year upon renewal, and also Hilton Diamond status, which is pretty solid. Some of the key benefits include executive lounge access, which tends to be pretty good in Asia, and also space available upgrades, and breakfast or food and beverage credit. The main reason it's in my wallet is due to additional free nights you can earn by spending on the card. We're about $5K away from the $30K night, so a pretty good use of either rent payment or tax payment. Also a bit unrelated, but I do want to buy an ice cream machine, which would probably work towards this. It's been on my list for a while, but I'm debating the 4080 and the 5030, and let me know if you've had any experience with either one. A bit of me also knows I should probably wait for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but yeah, kind of been itching for it. We do have a bunch of nights ready at this point and probably looking to do a bigger trip, either to Seychelles or the Maldives. It's definitely not a fit for everyone, but if you are a sole proprietor and you have business spend, especially during the holiday season, or again rent or tax payments, it is a pretty good benefit and a pretty strong card. Card number 2 is the American Express Gold Card. It's actually one that I am getting a bit annoyed with. $325 annual fee and you have an up to $84 credit for Dunkin', up to $100 for Resi, up to $120 for their dining partners, and up to $120 in Uber Cash. Uber's super easy for us and pretty straightforward, and I actually don't mind Resi. Dunkin's though is a bit of a pain. I get that there are workarounds, but you still have to use the credit. When I'm in New York, I feel like I have coffee at the hotel, or I'm doing coffee meetings and it's at coffee shops. The times I end up going to Dunkin' tend to be late night when I need a boost, either before going out or going back to the hotel and doing work. If I was living in New York or Boston again, then maybe a different story, but right now it just feels like an annoying credit. Also, I didn't realize how much I'd miss Shake Shack as a credit. Grubhub is fine, but it feels a lot more forced right now, and I think I still have to get used to it. The funny thing is that even without a credit, I still end up going to Shake Shack. For us, the main draw is 4x back at restaurants, and up to $50K in spend per calendar year, and also 4x at supermarkets, US ones, on up to $25K in spend per year. My hope is that they either add more dining partners, or just make it into another Resi one, a bigger one, or Uber one. Card number 3 is the American Express Platinum Card. For us, it's mostly about the perks, and it makes sense. There is a $695 annual fee, and you do get a lot of credits, but you need to make sure that you get enough value. Let's actually run through our credits, because why not? For digital entertainment, we have Disney Plus, and airline fee credit is United, which is pretty easy. If you're into basketball, it's pretty much a bank shot. Clear is unused since we do have it from Delta Diamond, and we still have that for a bit. Probably should offer that one to relatives. That's kind of what happened with Equinox, and hotel credit will be for an upcoming trip to Hong Kong. Saks is done and pretty easy there, and we don't really use Walmart Plus. I know some people get a lot of value with that, but we just don't. Also, Uber we use enough, so pretty easy to work through, and not really stressing about it. The main reason we have the Platinum Card is Centurion Lounges. We're in San Francisco, and the one out of SFO is pretty solid. Also for this quarter, we ended up connecting through Atlanta almost 4 times, and the one there is amazing. To me at least, probably the best Centurion Lounge in the network. Also, Delta Sky Clubs when flying Delta, which is pretty often. Sky Clubs are a bit hit and miss, so out of Atlanta, it's almost a bit too hectic and too busy. If I was out of Atlanta, I probably would not have Delta as my main airline, just because it's a bit too much. Out of SFO though, and LAX, it's pretty solid, and even Salt Lake, it's not too bad. I feel like I didn't do a great job of selling the Gold and Platinum Card, but if you are interested and you want to learn more, then I definitely check Card Match. We do have a blog post on this, and it should pop up if you search Card Match Ask Sebi, and it's probably the best way to get either 90K plus for the Gold and also 150K plus for the Platinum Card. On that note, if you are someone that wants to learn about cards and support the channel, we do have links on our website, asksebi.com, and also down below in the description box. Make sure the links are competitive, that they make sense for you, but otherwise it is a huge way to support the channel, so thank you in advance. For September, we ended up going to Cabo and checking out the Waldorf Astoria. We ended up using 2 free night certificates to cover it, and it was pretty solid. Retail price is pretty aggressive, and I'd say that it's a great use of certificates. It also depends on who you ask, but it's apparently one of the best hotels in Cabo. For example, for the Michelin Guide, there's only 4 hotels that have earned 2 Michelin stars for Los Cabos, and this is probably the best one for our purpose. The other 3 aren't cheap either, so you're still looking at about $1,200 per night at a minimum for those hotels. One cool thing about the rooms here is that each one does have a plunge pool with a pretty good view. Note that for most rooms, people can see what you're doing in the pool. Pro tip, but don't be too aggressive on your first night if you are drinking, and probably don't mix tequila and beer. The pools here are pretty nice and there are a lot of options. Note though that you cannot go into the ocean because it is too dangerous. So if you are looking to swim in the ocean, then it might be a skip unless you want to do excursions. So we did end up doing a snorkeling one and it was fine, a bit less fish and sea life than we expected, but still a good nice way to see everything. But yeah, if you're looking for a romantic trip and a good short one, then this is a great option. The service was also really good. Maybe I'm weird, but even if I get food that sucks, if the waiter comes and asks how it's going, I normally just say that it's good and fine and finish it. This time though, when I said I was fine, they kind of noticed and they said it shouldn't just be fine, it should be excellent. With that, they ended up offering to make a completely new dish without additional charge, so that was amazing. Huge props there because most other places wouldn't do that. Afterwards, we ended up moving to Nobu, which we booked with FHR. Nobu's interesting because the property itself is beautiful and looks super nice. At the same time, it also feels a bit out of place. Maybe it's wrong to say, but it feels like it doesn't have a soul. It feels hard to explain, but a lot of misses on our end. Aside from the front desk, the staff was friendly and food was fine, but yeah, it just felt very corporate. It is one of 2 hotels in Cabo that have 1 Michelin key. Average price is about $600, but a lot of that is due to weekend pricing, pulling it up by quite a bit. If you look at the rest of the week, so Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, you can find it for about $200 to $300, which I feel like is a pretty good deal. If both you and a player 2 have FHR credits from Platinum cards, then this is a pretty good use case. I think I still would visit Nobu if the price is right, but yeah, kind of gives me Vegas vibes, which is fine, but just different than what I expected. I still think that there is something special about the Water of Astoria, and that's a lot better service-wise. In October, we ended up going down to Bora Bora. We repositioned from SFO to LAX to fly Air Tahiti Nui business class. We ended up booking it through Alaska Miles, and it wasn't too bad at all. The flight was fine, food was okay, but it definitely is showing its age. We spent a few days in Tahiti, mostly to swim with whales. So we had 2 days planned for this, but we ended up seeing whales on the first day, so that's a big win. Let me tell you, they're majestic, of course, but they're also a bit scary. Especially when they're swimming up towards you, it kind of gives you Lovecraftian, Cthulhu type vibes, and yeah, a little scary, but still a cool core memory. Next, we ended up flying from PPT to BOP to check out the Westin Bora Bora. This is a brand new property that's replacing the Le Méridien that was previously there. Funny enough, we did visit Le Méridien back in the day, which was definitely not the best hotel. So I took the bones of that property and rebuilt it, and this time it's pretty solid. Service was amazing, and the hard product is pretty good for what it is. The main complaint people have is that the base rooms are a lot smaller. To be fair though, there are levels to it, so Ritz and St. Regis are the top luxury brands and the ones you'd expect to have the best experience in the biggest rooms. Westin and even the prior Le Méridien are only premium, so one level below. For what it is, I think it's fine, but if you are optimizing towards the best experience possible, then probably book St. Regis, which is a great stay. St. Regis is a bit harder to book, but if you can find it, it's going to be the standard garden room and maybe for a bit less than 100k points. That means you can use 85k certificates and then top off. In contrast, the Westin is a lot cheaper, around 66k points, and I've even seen 65k. That means you could potentially top off 50k certificates. We did end up getting upgraded mid-stay since we did do 2 reservations, and we have platinum status for both of them. In our experience, that's one of the best tactics because it gives you 2 shots at upgrades. The second room was a lot bigger, but yeah, I wouldn't expect it, but it is pretty nice, and if you do have a chance to upgrade to it, if the price is right, it probably makes sense to do it. Otherwise, the rest of the property is beautiful. Great pool area and a lot of different places to relax and either bike around or do other things. When we were there, the turtle sanctuary wasn't open yet, and same with the middle lagoon area, but everything else is more or less open. One disadvantage though is the food, and I think that is still the weak spot. Breakfast is fine, especially since it is free for platinum status, and we also like the beachside restaurant. That was pretty tasty. The expensive restaurant though was a miss for us. We don't mind paying if it's good, but it just wasn't that good. To be fair though, we also did go on the grand opening of the restaurant, so maybe not fair to judge on day 1. But yeah, let me know if you go what your thoughts are. If you're curious about the trip, Mandy does have 3 of her 4 videos up on her channel, and I'll probably do mine soon on my channel. On the way back, and Mandy's next video, is the new Air France business class. This one is a lot nicer, especially if you can get the first row. It almost feels like a mini first class, given how much room you have. We also did end up booking this with points because that makes sense. Also, let me know if you want me to walk through some of the redemption stuff, either in a blog post or in a separate channel, or how you want me to do it. because I think it is interesting. Some people are interested in it, but it is a lot drier of a topic compared to what we normally cover. So let me know if it's more general guides about how to use points and options, or if it's literally walking through a redemption and how to find space and kind of that whole process. Again, if you want to learn about cards, we have links on the website, askxib.com, and also down below in the description box. If you made it to this point, leave a coconut emoji in the comments down below, and I'll try to heart it and also respond. 3 questions. Number 1, what's in your wallet? Number 2, any big Black Friday or Cyber Monday targets or big purchases coming up? And number 3, any upcoming trips? Big favorite, thumbs up, consider subscribing, but otherwise hope you liked it. See you next time.